Mass media has been a staple in our society ever since the dawn of Gutenberg's printing press. As society grows and changes, our population shifts its focus in terms of the main media source we gravitate towards. But a form of media that's often overlooked as impactful is film. Film is one of the most impactful forms of media because film tells concise stories. They're quick, easy to watch and digest, and they typically get a well-thought message across. Every person on this planet has or has had a father, and films have their own way of depicting them. Some films are realistic to how fathers are in real life, while some films display complete fictional dads that are too unrealistic to truly exist. I've broken down the way fathers are portrayed in films to just a few points. The first being that films are constructed depictions of reality. A father within a film is always going to be shaped as the director of the film wants in combination with the way the actor interprets the role. Meaning that most times, film isn't trying to accurately depict reality, but rather form a new reality to tell the story the director is trying to convey. Most films depict fathers as unaware, violent, dim-witted, unlikable jerks who bring in money for the family, or maybe as downright failures in terms of being parents, while others depict fathers that are trying their best, yet are still flawed. And finally, sometimes but very rarely, films depict the fathers of the story as the perfect person who wants the best for everyone in the film. The first and last example aren't exactly false depictions of fathers in real life, but they certainly are extremes. Most fathers in our world aren't pure evil, and no dad is by any means perfect. The best depictions of a dad in a film is one who's in the middle. The flawed yet still are trying their best and aren't all bad or all good. The next point I have is that films have a unique aesthetic style. Film has a unique power to tell stories of all shapes and sizes, meaning that the character of the father in a film can range everywhere from a superhero living in a suburbia to a father that co-parented his kids in a penthouse. The way issues are dealt with between these two fathers in this example are incredibly different. One's flaw is the fact that he misses his glory days, and that's taking a toll on his kids due to his desire to relive his past. While on the other hand, the other's flaw is the fact that he played favorites when raising his children, and that affected every single one of them into adulthood. These fathers' actions and choices vary in both films, and that's because each film is made in a different style. My third and final point is that films have specific values and messages. Whether it's blatantly blunt or surprisingly subtle, it's always there. For example, in the film Fantastic Mr. Fox, the clear message is that it's a fantastic thing to be a unique person. While on the other hand, the main message of the film Parasite is far more ambiguous and up for interpretation. For those of you that have seen either of these films, know that the fathers within both of them play major roles in the way the stories are told. In Fantastic Mr. Fox is constantly running away from himself, and by the end he comes to terms with the person he truly is. While in Parasite, Mr. Kim's comments on life and our plans in life and how they tend to change can be interpreted in so many ways. The difference between these two films and the fathers in them are so great, yet both films manage to get a message across through these fathers, whether if that message is clear or ambiguous. The values of a film is always important when inspecting the way a father is portrayed within one. A value a filmmaker might have is that fathers should be there for their family, or that fathers should be a person who's caring, loving, and compassionate. Some filmmakers might get this across by either making the dad appear horrible if his actions don't align with the filmmaker's set of values, or the filmmaker might glorify the father in the film when he starts being the man the filmmaker thinks a father should be. All in all, the portrayal of fathers in a film varies across the board from wise to arrogant, likable to unlikable, perfect to imperfect, and from realistic to non-realistic. Some depictions are semi-inaccurate, while others are so inaccurate it's hilarious. And sometimes the depiction of a father lands right in the middle to produce a character that just simply makes the whole film work.